This is the 49ers Power Hour with Sasha D. Robinson. Look, I don't have this big intro. I don't have anything that I want to talk about beforehand. Like who would win out of a fight or what I got for Christmas, because Christmas was on Monday. And trust me, I got a lot of stuff that I really love, that I really wanted to get. But that heartbreaking loss to the Ravens, 33-19, has really downed me. So I just want to say, let's get to the point. We have a lot that we want to unpack. I want to get this off my chest, because since the malarkey on Monday night has really left a sour taste in my mouth, and the main thing I'd want to talk about is the 49ers expectations from other fans. A lot of my constituents on, because I've always said I'm a reporter. I'm also a writer for the 49er Web Zone. A lot of my other constituents, they've been writing and following and doing a lot of other good pieces, updates, and everything, which they have the time and the patience and to do that. Plus, they're up. A lot of them are up there in the California area, got time to do all this. And me, I like to do the pulse, or I may do a throwback. I may do something like other sorts like that. But one thing that I've noticed, and I've been getting this lately, is that a lot of fans from other teams have been working my ever loving nerves. Now, this isn't a bad thing, but this isn't a good thing as well. Um, Let me go ahead and break this down. Um, so the day before my birthday was November 24th. And on Christmas Day, on Thanksgiving Day, a guy gave me a 49er beanie for my birthday. And he's like, hey, happy birthday. So I put it on. I've been wearing it. I've been wearing it all the time. So what's happened is that I've noticed that everywhere I go, people want to talk to me. Hey, well, how do you think the 49ers are doing? How are they doing? This one guy out, out of the blue, hey, San Francisco! And I'm like, what the hell? Me and my wife were walking around. We're like, what the hell is this? Hey, they're gonna win. I'm like, man, hopefully they're gonna win. And like, Deebo talking a lot of noise. Like, yeah, yeah, we see what he said about James Bradbury. He called him trash. But we're gonna see what he's gonna do. I see it. One guy came up to me and started talking. He said, "Oh, that quarterback that the 49ers got is pretty good." And we'll circle back to Brock. But I was like, "Yeah, they're pretty good. But he's pretty good. I like to see what they're doing right now." One person, she's a Ravens fan. Yeah, our team's gonna get him. Oh, that's another thing. A good friend of mine, he's a Ravens fan because he's from Baltimore. Yeah, he's from Baltimore, Murderland. I call it Murderland. And he's texting me. Now, anybody who knows me knows you don't talk to me when the Niners play. I don't talk to people. I don't want to be around anyone. And he's just texting me like, man, like this is just a regular thing. I wanted to say, dude, like, bro, me and you, we just became real cool. But anybody who knows, one thing: you do not be in the same room with Sasha D. Robinson when the Niners play. He's not that guy, that lovable guy. I don't sit there, and this is not like a TV show where I'm like, oh, I'm going to watch the game with you. No, I watch the game. I watch it alone. Hell, my wife is a Commanders fan. She's born up there in Murderland, and her family have been with the Redskins or the Commanders football team, for ages. Dad was one, family was one. Her uncle even played on the marching band. And this is going to be a house divided because the 49ers and the Commanders played. But she knows one thing: don't talk to Sasha, because he's not that guy. He will be an ogre. He will be a monster. He may say some things that he will not take back later, because this is a football, because this is a team that I take it serious. But my boy, I'm gonna put it on the spot. My boy Randy wants to text me. And I'm looking at him like, I'm looking at the text, and I'm like, dude, stop texting me. Because he doesn't know the protocol. He doesn't know it. And I haven't gotten him in there. Randy probably thinks that this is just all in fairness because of, we're friends and we're texting and teasing. Nah, this is, not me. He doesn't get it. He doesn't understand it. I'm that fan. I'm that fan that will take it. I will take it to the extreme. I don't want to talk to anyone. And he's over here texting me 3 interceptions, 4 interceptions. And to the point, my little cousin up in Washington State, he's sending me, putting me a Facebook message talking about how the 49ers were exposed. You're a Chiefs fan. Facebook talking about the 49ers were exposed? Nah, the Chiefs were exposed. And I hate to say it, there's a lot of problems over there in Chiefs Kingdom right now. But you know what? I didn't say anything because you know why? This is the reason why I don't say stuff when the 49ers are playing or anything else, because something will come up, and if the 49ers lose, all these people will come and descend on you and talk noise to you and make it seem like, yeah, your team ain't nothing, but yet your team ain't worth spit either, because we got Cowboy fans. Because remember, I'm a 49er fan in Cowboy country, and these guys, the Cowboys, they will talk noise even though the 49ers had already gave them something already. 42 to, I forgot. I just saw that they got blasted 42-10, and and these guys are making it seem like, yeah, whatever. But look at how they got blasted when the 49ers lost to Cleveland the next week, lost to a backup quarterback, and I'm thinking in the back of my head, didn't the Cowboys lose to a backup quarterback? Who gives it? Who cares? I mean, the point is, where are you at? I'm a friend. I don't even know if I want to call him a friend. He doesn't talk to me. Only time I hear from him is when the 49ers lose. 49ers lose, I hear the 49ers lose, I hear everything. 49ers can't do this, they can't do this, they can't do this, they can't do this. You can anything, any kind of panelist, talking head says, he will be a parakeet or a parrot and will say the same thing. Not go with his own what he says. He'll go with that. But when the 49ers win, I don't hear nothing from him. 49ers blast somebody, I don't hear nothing. They come back and beat Jacksonville, don't hear nothing. They beat the Eagles, I don't hear nothing. But I hear from this joker when the 49ers lose. And I send him a message, bro, you don't talk to me when I don't hear from you unless the 49ers lose. When I got married, I didn't hear from you. I didn't hear nothing from my birthday. I heard nothing from you at all. But the moment the Niners lose, you want to make it seem like, ha ha, look at that, they lost. Like you're pouring salt in an open wound. I didn't respond. I didn't read his response because, as far as I'm concerned, because to me it was like, yeah, I don't think that I can I can mess with with something like that, with somebody like that. Yeah, and this is the thing. When you are a fan of a team, um, there's times, and I've always say this when it comes to it. When you are a fan of a team, you we understand your love for the squad. I look at these fake NFL team commercials, and I believe that they're so fake. It's so fake. I don't believe any commercial that the NFL has put out when it comes to fandom, because to me it seems so convoluted, artificial. But I see true fans. But being a fan, it does not mean that you have to be an arrogant jerk. Be a fan, root, whatever. You have your hatred for a squad. That's fine. Your best friends are rivals, team rivals. That's fine. You know, my good friend of mine, real good friend of mine, who stays up there in Washington, love the Seahawks. He even got on me. Yeah, I better watch it because Brock Purdy's throwing interceptions. I know it's in jest because I know Dill Pickle is just ripping me, and that's cool. I wanted to laugh it off. I had to laugh. I wanted to laugh it off, but I was so much in my feelings. I didn't want to do it. But let's just make sure that we all understand each other because I'm gonna circle back to what my little cousin said. The 49ers were exposed. Exposed from what? Yeah, Brock threw 4 interceptions, but the Ravens didn't actually stomp all over the 49ers. The 49ers just it seemed like they just gave up on a play on the they just gave up last minute and the 49ers possibly had a chance to win. I don't believe that it was not an exposed game. I just think yeah, after the second interception, yeah, whatever. But I'll tell you right now, 49ers were not exposed. The Ravens were just a better team on Monday night. So all you fans out there just thinking that the 49ers, were like they got the blueprint or the Ravens have the master plan at beating the 49ers, think again. They don't have it. There's so much that I really want to say about this, but back to what I was saying when that one guy he came to me and he said the 49ers looks like they got a good quarterback. And I was in the store, our store down here in San Antonio called HEB, and I'm just going down the chip aisle trying to find me something healthy chips. Even though I said I'm trying to find them, ended up picking up these HEB brand corn chips. That's why I'm having trouble losing weight because every time I get a chance at trying to I lose the weight, then I'm like, oh man, I got a hankering or I got a craving for this. So it's like I'm just I start going ahead. I went and got me these corn chips. So this guy came up to me and he was like, yeah, they got a pretty good quarterback. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure you think that the 49ers are satisfied. Like, yeah, well, I can't believe where he came from. Some yada, yada, yada. But then he said, well, I'm a Raiders fan, and, I just wish that we had a quarterback. I didn't like Derek Carr. Derek was just trash. And so then I'm like, yeah, well, Aiden O'Connell just isn't really showing who like he's the next up and coming guy. Yeah, but man, I just don't like Derek Carmichael. And I said one thing: bet you wish you had him now. And he sat there for a moment, got quiet. Yeah, you're right. I definitely wish we had a quarterback now. So you see, this is where I'm going to go all over the place, but this is going to circle back to Brock Purdy right now. Before I get there, before I get into my before I say this, you see, fans, when you are saying that you don't like a quarterback who's putting up numbers, but then because they're not going to the promised land, they're not giving you the promised land, then you're turning around, like saying, "Well, I wish we had somebody else." Well, then who do you want then? I remember a long time ago when Cowboy fans were sitting there talking about, "Oh, get rid of Tony Romo, get rid of Tony Romo." But then then people are like, "Okay, then who do you want?" Tony Romo's is your best chance to win. And this is where I wanted to say about with Brock Purdy. I see because me and a couple of other people, a lot of us and have all been looking at this whole thing when it comes to Brock Purdy and look at a lot of things. A lot of people are behind the kid all the way. A lot of people believe he is the guy. He will be that quarterback that leads the 49ers to the promised land. I'm on that. I'm on the fence still about it. One minute I'm all for it, but those aren't blowout games. But when it's those games when he has to grab himself and be like and pick it up, that's the one that I'm looking for. And that's where I'm kind of like wondering. He had one game. Actually, he had two. Let me back up. He had two. The game against the Raiders when they again it wasn't a blowout game. The 49ers were last year they were supposed to blast the Raiders. Raiders were starting Jarrett Stidham, and Jarrett Stidham came out and just started lighting up the 49ers secondary. Hufunga was giving up touchdown passes. They could not stop Walker at all. And no, I'm sorry, Devontae Adams. I'm sorry, they couldn't stop Devontae Adams. I'm thinking about Devontae Walker. They couldn't stop Devontae Adams at all. And Brock Purdy had to make those crucial passes, throws, and everything just to be able to make sure, to be able to pull it up. Well, help the 49ers pull the game up. Another game, I said two, but it's actually three. The game against the Cowboys in the playoffs because again he didn't have a high proficient game. He was gunslinging it, but he's lucky that he didn't f the game off. Glad I caught myself with that one, and the 49ers were able to win because they had to slow the game down. But the game against Cleveland is one that I wanted to talk about for this year because that game, he was without Deebo. Trent Williams went out. The 49ers self-destructed against Cleveland. They couldn't put the ball in the end zone. When they got turnover, they couldn't capitalize. But the thing is that he was able to get the ball and to get them into scoring range. It just so happened that Jake Moody missed the field goal. Well, other than that, you have to look at the game like against Minnesota. You have to look at the game against Cincinnati. Then let's look at Baltimore. This is where you have to see if this is your guy. I gave you three games. But what about these other three games that I just named as well? So we could go 50-50 on this. The 49ers were blowing teams out. He got hurt in the NFC Championship game. The thing is that with Niner fans that we're looking for our hero. When I say we're looking for our hero, we're looking for that new guy. If you are a 49er fan of the 80s, then you grew up watching greatness, and arguably, in my opinion, and I don't care what anybody says, watching Joe Montana, the greatest of all time, greatest quarterback of all time. You saw his greatness. You saw his adversity. You saw his toughness. You saw everything. You saw a lot of things that really put him up there. Then you watch Steve Young grow from that erratic running quarterback to being one of the most proficient, efficient quarterbacks, two-time league MVP, Super Bowl champion as well. But then the 49ers, they got quarterbacks like Jeff Garcia who put up numbers. But can we honestly say that did any 49er fan believe that Jeff Garcia was going to lead them to the promised land? Can we honestly believe that Jeff Garcia was that guy who had that toughness? Because when they had a chance to really show that they were ready, it was a game against the Rams. I want to say it was in the 0-1 season. and the 49ers were riding high, and of course the Rams were the Rams. They were the team to beat in the NFC. And the 49ers were riding high, going into the Trans-American Dome to play the Rams. And you had that chance to use this as a measuring stick, and the 49ers got blasted. Jeff Garcia was missing Terrell Owens. It was like the Rams were just like, no. The Rams put the 49ers back in their place. They let them know, no, you're still the guys who we buried a couple of years ago. You're not ready for us yet. You're not ready to play with the big boys. We look at. I'm not going to think about Tim Rattay, or not even going to think about Ken Dorsey. God, don't get me started with Ken Dorsey. But then, everybody's expecting this from Alex Smith. I, for one, have always been an Alex Smith fan. But the thing is that with Alex, to me, I'll always say this, he never had the support from the franchise as they always put it. I know that there was more to this, but I'm a visual guy. Yeah, this was around the time I realized, hey, there's the internet. Oh, there's KNBR in the morning. I'll start listening more to KNBR. I'll listen to Murphy Mac. I'll listen to, all these other guys. I listened, before the NFL became some monopoly guys, and like said, if you want to listen to 49er games, you're going to have to pay for it. I would listen to KNBR in the morning, or KNBR is for 49er games. And I'd get a lot more information. But because of the visual and all this other guy, and then the 49ers are getting rid of offensive coordinators, that a coach that seemed like they didn't want that really didn't want him. Everything seemed like it was going against Alex Smith, and it was obvious that a lot of fans were going against him. Hell, I remember one time on Twitter, me and Tim Kawakami got into like a little back and forth. Now, I mean, this was like back in 2010, but we're on Twitter, and I'm over here like, man, I'm supporting Alex Smith. Man, quit writing about Alex Smith. Quit writing bad about Alex Smith. Tim kept saying, when he stops throwing interceptions, I'll stop talking about him. And I'm like, well, the team didn't support him, the team this, that, and I'm saying all the obvious. When he stops throwing interceptions, I'll stop writing bad about him. That's all he kept going back with me, because it was true. I'm going with these what if scenarios, and he's going with the facts. This was before I really started my journalistic career, my journalistic path. So he was like coming at me with facts, and I'm going with my feelings. But I had facts, but it's the feelings that were clouding me. But the fact was, Alex Smith didn't have the support, and he was not going to be that savior. Even when the 49ers made it to the NFC Championship game. Me personally, it would have been a dream come true watching the 49ers play the Patriots in the Super Bowl. I would have loved to have seen that. But when you look back in hindsight, I don't know if the 49ers would have won that game. Because Alex Smith would have made some crucial, stupid throws around that time. Jim Harbaugh may have created that offense to conducive for him, but the following year was a lot better for him, and it was a shame that he got hurt. Then you got Colin Kaepernick. And Colin got them again, and got them to the Super Bowl. They basically effed it off. The Ravens sat there and bullied them, but the 49ers came storming back and, oh man, for the lights. I ain't hearing nothing about no lights. Football still made the play. I ain't hearing nothing like that because the 49ers came storming back. And then they went through total mediocrity, playing Blaine Gabbert, did have that, and then Jimmy Garoppolo came in. Jimmy came in and did a real good serviceable job, but then led them to Super Bowl. Everybody was pining. This was our guy right here. People were pining. Jimmy G, we love you, porn star Jimmy. All Jimmy Garoppolo, we love you. This and that. And after that Super Bowl, that after they lost the Super Bowl, everybody started turning on him. And then we look at Brock Purdy, who seems like he's the answer. Young and upcoming guy who was playing efficient his first couple of games. And I've always said that he was in that situation where all you had to do is just not lose. Because again, like Cam Newton said, you're a game manager. I really thought the same thing too. You're in the perfect situation. The only thing you have to do is don't mess up the game. You have the perfect weapons all around you. You have Brandon Ayuk. You have Deebo Samuel. You have George Kittle. You have Christian McCaffrey. You have one of the best offensive lines. One of the best defenses. Why would you mess it off? And then what? And so this is where I always think where us 49er fans, we're just hoping this is our guy. This is him. This is him. Is he the quarterback? Is he going to lead them to the promised land? Everything is pointing to yes. But damn it, I have to see it before I can say he's the guy. I don't want to. I don't like to anoint someone without proving it because then you look wrong. You right now at this point, the 49ers are 11-4. All they have to do, and the best scenario, is to win this game against the Commanders. I'm pretty sure if they win this game against the Commanders, with everybody being 11-4 and all this other stuff, if they lose this game, they can go ahead and still get the number one seed because the Eagles and the Cowboys are also 11-4. No, the Cowboys are 11-5. They're 10-5 right now. So if they both win out, I mean, it doesn't matter. No, because then again, the Eagles, if they can win, they don't. They have to win the next two games unless the Eagles lose the game. So no, I take that back. I take that back. I take it back. So I'm looking at the scenario now. The 49ers now have to win out or hope for an Eagles loss for them to be able to get to home field. And this is when Brock Purdy can shine the most at home. Doesn't have to go anywhere. Anybody who's hurt can just stay healthy for 1 week. You don't have to travel east. You don't have to go anywhere else. You don't have to just sit at home. Problem is that the Rams are not looking like the Rams from week 2. The Rams are looking dangerous. So this is where I say with Brock Purdy, if you're going to be that guy, you have to be that guy in that game. Brock has thrown 29 touchdowns and 11 picks. If he's that guy, he's going to sell that he's that guy. If he's not that guy, well, unfortunately, he's not the guy. But I believe the only time will tell with the tutelage and everything about it. He will show that he's it. Well, only time will know about that. You guys ever, you know what I love about football? I love when players talk. I love it when players talk and they really let it be known that they don't like the other that they'll like another player or they have it in for the other team. To me, that is what gets me up and going to want to watch you. when I was a kid, the first time there's probably a little bit more, but I can remember this one altogether. Andre Waters and Emmitt Smith got into it. Andre Waters, the safety for the Philadelphia Eagles, and Emmitt Smith, Hall of Fame all-time leading rusher of Dallas Cowboys, Arizona Cardinals. They got into a little back and forth. People were even calling him Andre Waters Dirty Pool Waters because of his dirty hits, and Emmitt Smith was bad mouthing him and all this other stuff. But I remember something in particular. This is so funny. I believe it was in the playoff game. I want to say it was in the playoff game. And I didn't do my research because I'm trying to freeball on it because I wanted to rant about this, but I remember this. So I'll apologize if it wasn't a playoff game. I'll correct it. But I remember when they were Emmitt had was going through the hole and he was being held up. And somebody said, "Yeah, Andre Waters was yelling, hold him up! I want to hit him! I want to hit him!" And I'm like, "Wow, he does not like him." This is what I love about talking. When you talk, you really go there. Not all this. Oh, he's a good guy, and he makes all the right reads. I really like going up against him. I don't like friendly rivalries. I hate that. Friendly rivalries like what they try to make this Tom Brady and Peyton Manning the best rivalry in NFL history. No, they were friendly guys just playing football. No, they're not. That was not a rivalry. I don't call that a rivalry. Rivalries when people don't like each other. They don't like you. And as much as people may get sick and tired of Michael Parsons, but I kind of like what he's doing because no matter what, he keeps stirring the pot, let it be known, about how the Cowboys, Michael Parsons, outside linebacker for the Dallas Cowboys, is letting it be known he wants the 49ers, and he's stirring that pot. He even called, and I like how Deebo Samuel is defending Brock Purdy because Michael Parsons was on his podcast talking noise about Brock. And Deebo was like, "Hey, keep my quarterback's name out of your mouth. It seems like you want to be over here. You want to come to the Bay Area." I like this because to me it gets me up and going, and just knowing that this rivalry is about to spark something more. I love stuff like this. It goes beyond just X. It goes beyond it. It just when you have rivals, this is what brings people to watch the game. Not a friendly rivalry. Oh, it's Tom Brady and Tom Brady and Peyton Manning just going to say, "Oh, they're throwing touchdowns. Oh, they're doing this," and then they're meeting in the middle. Oh, they're hugging. No, I want somebody to be over there. I'm about to blast you. We're going to embarrass you, and I don't care anything about it. That's what gets me going. That's what brings me about football. About this. Yeah, I know it'll probably be, those two probably won't see each other, like line up against each other unless Debo's in the backfield and or he's catching a slip screen or something like that. Because Mike ain't gonna run with Debo. He ain't no coverage linebacker, but he's writing checks that you want to see if they're going to get cashed. So to me, this is what brings rivalries back. When those Eagles fans were talking real, what I guess I could say, real cash money about the 49ers a couple weeks ago, and when the Eagles were talking and James Bradbury was trying to be nice and AJ Brown saying, "Hey, this Deebo Samuel's Twitter, y'all go have fun with this," and he and how he and all this other stuff that I like. Now, if you're getting malicious and taking personal shots and talking about the man's kids and wife, yeah, you're going somewhere I can't go with you. Talk about the man who's trash, that's fine. Yeah, you can't play, that's fine. But this is what I love about football. And then hearing about Cam Newton and Deebo too, even though it's not going to be no on the field type of thing, but still, it brings more to football that gets people enjoying it. I can tell you right now, the 49er web zone probably going to have themselves talking about this. I'm pretty sure that any of my constituents who also have podcasts are talking about this. We all are talking about it. I love it. I think it's great for the game. It goes beyond the X's and O's, and it can get you in there because you want to see are the person going to show up. Think about it again. Deebo Samuels called James Bradbury, Philadelphia Eagles cornerback, trash. And let it be known that if Brock Purdy was there in the NFC Championship game, 49ers would have won. It would have been a blowout. That's what Deebo Samuel said. What happened? When the 49ers met them a couple of weeks ago, Deebo Samuels went for over 100 yards, 3 touchdown passes. I mean, three total touchdowns, 2 receptions, 1 rush. Brock Purdy, I believe he threw 4 touchdown passes. Yeah, 4 touchdown passes. He went for 314, 4 touchdown passes, and had a rating of 148 against the vaunted Eagles defense. So you mean to tell me that all that trash talking, 49ers fans are looking for that rematch? This is a rematch. Get out, Craig. But you know something? We also wanted to see was that what he said was true. So if you ask me, do I like that? Yeah, I love it. I love knowing that Deebo is beefing with Michael Parsons. Now, the thing is that I don't really care much for the Eagles and Cowboys. I mean, the 49ers and Cowboys as I used to back when I was a kid because that rivalry just doesn't have that luster anymore. It's not because the 49ers are just beating them the last 2 times because I hate to say this, 49er fans, and don't mistake this. Cowboys had owned the 49ers in the regular season quite a few times. They've owned them. So these 2 losses, I mean these 2 Cowboy beating the Cowboys these 2 times does not mean anything to me. It's not like, yeah, we got them. The 49ers got them. Yeah, they got them, but it's just not that feeling like how like how it used to be in the '90s. I guess because it just doesn't feel like it's something worth it. Now again, I've written about this 49ers in Philly. They have a they have a they have a history that nobody ever really talks about, and that means something. So if you ask me, who would I probably replace the 40 that Cowboys hatred with? It wouldn't be Philly. It'd be Green Bay because their playoff history has been so is really more prolific and means something than Dallas. It's not there like how everybody, like what a lot of other people think, like what everybody thinks. Everybody romanticizes about Dallas and San Francisco because of back in the '90s how it was with those 3 playoffs and the Cowboys winning 2 in a row and the 49ers finally getting past them. And then back in the '80s when in the '81 in the NFC Championship game, everybody romanticized about it, but let's be for real here. These past two ones just didn't have that feel of I hate you. But I do love what Micah Parsons did. I do like how he's just talking. I love Debo's response. Nobody's trying to be the political. Well, okay, well, we're just going out here and play. We put our pads on. No, say something and let's go out and play. And may the best team win. And then when whoever wins, you suck it up and you have to keep those words. Mm. Speaking of that, because I alluded to this a moment ago, and that's the playoff scenarios for the 49ers. Hypothetically speaking, the 49ers don't get home field advantage. They get the 2 seed because because it's going to probably be between the San Francisco and Philly for home field. 49ers go on the road. 49ers will probably host 2 playoff games. So that's just going to be known. They're going to host 2 playoff games. One team that I don't think that I want the 49ers to see right now is Dallas. Dallas is a funny team, and I know I just said I don't like them. I don't like them as a rival like I used to be in the '90s. But Dallas is a funny team. I don't take that 42-10 victory and make it seem like the 49ers just are, they're going to roll all over them. I'm just saying that the Cowboys may have the 49ers number that day. And I don't want to see it. Another team that I don't think the 49ers want to see is Detroit. Detroit looks like they are young and hungry. They may be a year or two away. Jeff Goff may need to work on his turnovers. They may need to rely more on their running game. They got a two-headed monster and Jameer Gibbs and David Montgomery. Their wide receivers are off the chart. The offensive line is, but their defensive line is led by Aiden Hutchinson is just off the charts. Um, so you always have to wonder if they, that like that you would think that they're your way and they could just somehow say no, we're not. I'm just on that right now that I don't want to see those 2 teams. Dallas because I don't want to hear none of these fanboys going to say anything, and I don't want to hear from, and I don't want to see Detroit. Now, San Francisco goes on the road because Philly ends up winning and they end up going hosting the NFC Championship game. I feel a little bit more comfortable knowing what happened last time, but Philly may be a lot better, may be ready for San Francisco on this next go around, but I feel more comfortable. And because remember, Philly's where real men play football, but it'll be returned to House of Horrors. San Francisco this time may go ahead and pull it off. But let's say San Francisco wins, Philly comes to San Fran. They'll still lose. If Detroit comes to San Francisco, it'll be a close game, but I believe San Francisco will pull it off. Because I can't say Jeff Goff, oh my God, he's turning it over because Brock Purdy's been turning it over as well. I just don't want to see Dallas because I don't want to see these fans and all this. Ha ha ha! I told you. That playoff scenario would just be something. I can't wait, and I'd love to see how these next two games are going to be for San Francisco. And then heading into the playoffs. If you have any questions you'd like to talk about it, I'd love to hear from you. You can send a message, email to angermanagement210 at gmail.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at Sasha D Robinson, and I'm also on Instagram at Sasha.d.robinson. I'll put that in the description box as well. It's going to be flashing up there as well. Any kind of fan, feedback would be great, appreciated. I had me and one fan, we went back and forth, and he accused me of being a guy who I do sons. You know what? That's one thing that I can't stand. Is all of a sudden now people want to just say, want to give these high school putbacks. No, that's you who does that, not me. First off, we've never crossed paths. So how are you going to tell somebody that all they do is just sit on their sit on their chair and eat Cheetos? You hear Charles Barkley say that one time, and now all of a sudden that's the go-to. That's the go-to putback. Like that, like you're going to go ahead and talk noise to somebody and say, well, no, that's not you, not me. And I'm like, I don't respond to high school putbacks, put downs. If you want to, if you want to diffuse what I said, hey, I'm all for it. But if you want to sit there and say something like, I know you are, what am I got nothing for you at all, man. I got nothing for you at all. All you do is sit at home and eat your Cheetos, sit on the chair. Yeah, I love Cheetos, but that's not all I do, though. I mean, come on. Oh, you know what else I like? I like honey buns also. Tasty cake honey buns are the best. I have to stop eating them, but I love them. I gotta tell you a rude mind. Like golly, like you just put me down. Like we're on a high school playground, and all of a sudden you thought that you got me. I sure showed you. Ha ha ha. Get out of here. This is Sasha D. Robinson for the 49er Power Hour. Please be sure to like, subscribe, share this content. Also, go to the 49er Web Zone. We have some talented writers, constituents who will keep you up to date with everything San Francisco 49ers. Um, and I want to just tell you right now, thank you for listening to my little show. And hopefully next week we can be able to get another one with some good topics as well. Again, this is Sasha D. Robinson. You all have yourself a good night tonight.